I decided in that area between Clone Wars and Rebels that filmmaking was what I wanted to do.
So George Lucas helped get you into college.
Yeah, in a way.
Empire Strikes Back.
I will say that Star Wars is my first.
Everyone has a Star Wars story. I'm Jordan Hembrow, and I'm meeting Star Wars fans who've been inspired and changed by the galaxy far, far away. Today I'm in Lancaster, Pennsylvania to chat with Zoe. Star Wars has been part of Zoe's life almost from the beginning, and now it's inspiring her future. Zoe?
Hey.
Hey, how are you, Jordan?
Good, come on in.
Okay. This is Zoe's Star Wars story.
My dad raised me with Star Wars. It's my earliest memories, not even just Star Wars memories, just memories, are playing like Battlefront or the Lego Star Wars games with my dad and just having like a ton of like toy lightsabers and action figures and stuff. And then when I was 6, I started trooping as a Jawa with my dad because he was a stormtrooper, and my sister who was also a Jawa.
So it's really been in your life since you were very, very young.
Yeah, as long as I can remember.
You've taken your first step into a larger world.
What I find so incredible, especially to me doing a series like this, is you didn't really fall in love with Star Wars because of the original trilogy, the one that I grew up with. Your love came from Clone Wars, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I watched the originals and the prequels when I was really little, but I was so little I don't remember my first time watching those. But I remember seeing Clone Wars for the first time in theaters and just seeing how everyone teaches Ahsoka and all of her experiences mold her in her own way.
So at 7 or 8, what was it that like drew you to her?
At that point, I felt like Leia and Padme both seemed to have everything really together already. Where Ahsoka, she was just starting out as a Padawan learner. She had a long ways to go. She was still figuring things out, and that was important to me being little because I didn't know what was going on. So it was important to me to be able to grow up with Ahsoka in a way I didn't really get to do with Leia or Padme.
You want the crystals? Come and get them.
So let's shift gears for a second because I find this so interesting. Tell me about your decision to actually go to film school.
So after Clone Wars ended, I didn't know what there was to look forward to. So I started looking back at Star Wars and how it was made. And I just found that I had a really deep interest in that. There's Joseph Campbell's hero's journey. Not just Luke Skywalker, but with Anakin Skywalker and Ezra Bridger and Rey. Tons of characters follow the hero's journey, and I think there aren't many better examples than Star Wars to use for that. Going into high school, I got to be on a set for a movie and work on it,
Wow.
which made me really, really know that this was what I wanted to do.
As we're setting up for this series right now and everyone's running around, I see you running around behind the scenes, setting up the cameras and lighting and everything like that. How's that feel?
It felt crazy. My experience with bigger cameras is a little bit limited as of right now, so getting to work with those was really fun and really cool.
Talk to me about getting into film school. Did you have to do anything special?
Yes, for my film school, I wrote about how George Lucas really inspired me and how I wanted to create things like he did.
So George Lucas helped get you into college.
Yeah, in a way.
Is there anything in particular in school that you're concentrating on?
As of right now, I think I want to go into the directing concentration that my school offers. I think one of the things that will always help any production is just diversity behind the camera. And now Deborah Chow is going to be running the Obi-Wan show, which I'm excited about.
Hello there.
Have you done any projects or anything related to Star Wars in film school yet?
Yes, last year we had to make a video and I chose to make a little documentary about people raising their kids with Star Wars. It was called Trooping in the Family. I interviewed my dad and my Alorad for the Mandalorian Mercs and Sal Perales from the Rogue Rebels.
We spoke to Lizzie Perales last season and her whole family. They are absolutely fantastic. And she told me that you guys have a podcast together.
The podcast started right before I turned 14. And then I believe my dad knew this guy like on Facebook named Sal Perales, and his daughter did the first Sabine. And so then after that, we started doing the podcast together every week. We first met in person at Celebration Orlando. We were walking and we met right on a street. We both just ran into the middle of the street and hugged, and our dads were both like, "No, get off the street."
Ezra, get out of there!
These are your Sabine costumes, and they are beautiful. How has cosplaying Sabine affected you?
There's a certain air of confidence, I guess, having like the armor and everything on, just like the way that I kind of walk in Sabine, even after I take the costume off. Especially if I'm at like an event where there's a lot of kids and they're excited to see Sabine. That always just makes me feel really good for the rest of the day, knowing that, I made that kid's day or even their week sometimes,
I'm gonna share something with you that I've never shared with anyone. For me personally, Star Wars, not only did it help me through the toughest parts and darkest days of my childhood, it brought me closer to my father. For me, Star Wars is my father and the bond we share together. Tell me about the bond you have with your father.
We built the costumes together, we troop together and wear the costumes together. So we always watch everything Star Wars together. So when The Mandalorian aired, even though it was a school night, I took a train back home so I could watch it for the first time with him.
You wanted to be with him?
I don't know if I would love Star Wars the way I do if it wasn't for him.
Where is he? Dad? Dad! Come give her a hug. You guys are great. You guys are Star Wars.
So proud of you, though.
You talk about the hero's journey. You talk about how important it is to Star Wars. So I want to know, how do you think your hero's journey, how do you want it to go?
Perfect world and end up directing Star Wars. Just working
good
with
goal.
Star Wars, that would be the dream, but we'll see.
That sounds like a perfect journey to me.